Hi, Andrea with Beats by Britain. And in response to some requests on Facebook, I'm showing everybody how I use Logic, actually, how I use any kind of recorded audio to teach Logic Drummer how to play certain rhythms for want of a better explanation. Logic Drummer is great if you do pop, rock, um, some Latin stuff, and dance music, really. But if you record in other genres like blues, slow blues, classical, ska, reggae, stuff like that, there aren't any preset drummers in Logic that will actually just play that right out the box. But it's very easy and fun to teach Logic how to do what to teach Logic Drummer how to do what you want it to do. And so that's what I do. So first thing I do before I even open up Spotify or YouTube or whatever streaming service I'm using is go into Logic and set up a screen that looks just like this. You're going to open a new Logic project and add an audio track, just an empty audio track like that. You have to have some kind of a way to loop audio out of YouTube or Spotify, out of your streaming service, back into Logic. I use Black Hole. I'm not going to explain that here because that's not the purpose of this video. But you can always Google Black Hole, or you can Google how to loop audio out from um, out from YouTube and back into Logic, something like that, and it'll explain how to do that. But I use Black Hole. It's easy to set up and it's easy to use. But that's what you're going to do. If you're actually pulling an MP3 file from your computer that you already have, if you're pulling an MP3 file or a WAV file from your computer that you've already got recorded, you don't have to do that. All you have to do is just use Finder. Just drag it over into Logic. Drag it over into an audio track. But I don't, and I actually like doing this. I like doing it my way. It's more fun for me. So anyway, open Logic, add a blank audio track. Make sure your input is correct for looping audio out from YouTube and into Logic. So that's what we got. We're going to set up arrangement markers. Actually, we're going to start from the top. We're going to set up our tempo, and I like to use something slow. When I'm teaching or setting up Drummer to do something different, I always like to start with a slow tempo because once I've got what I want, I can speed the tempo up to whatever I want. So we're going to set the tempo at something like 80 is okay. We could even go down to 70, something like that. Next thing is set up your time signature. Drummer needs a time signature. If you know what your time signature is that you're going to be working in, like most blues is in 12/8. That's a very, very, or 6/8. That's a very, very cool tempo to use for blues. It gives you a lot of swing, and it's really cool. 3/4 would be like a waltz. A standard time signature is 4/4. 7/8 is also popular. I'm going to pick 12/8. All right. So you got to set your tempo and your time signature. Then you're going to set your project length. For the purposes of this video, I'm setting a very short project length. My project length is only going to be 13 bars. You're typically going to be working with a complete project that's going to be 80 or more bars. So you're going to set your project end here to whatever you want it to be. I'm going to keep it at 13. So we've got the transport bar set up the way we want it. Now we're going to add arrangement markers, which I've already done. If you haven't done them yet, you're going to need an arrangement marker. We actually see those here. So we're going to click on Global Tracks. Go up to the arrangement marker here and we're going to add arrangement markers. I've already done it here. Um, I added a 4-bar intro, that's what this is, and an 8-bar chorus. Um, if we've got an 80-bar project, then you're going to be adding a lot of arrangement markers, but trust me, once you do it the first time, save this as a template, it's a snap. The drummer track uses not only the time signature and the tempo, but it also uses arrangement markers. I'll show you that in a minute. So get your arrangement markers set up the way you want them. I got a 4-bar intro and an 8-bar chorus. I got my time signature the way I want it. It's 12/8, could be anything. Got my tempo set up correctly. That's what we're looking at here. Now we're ready to stream audio from YouTube, in this case, into Logic. So go into your streaming service. In this case, I'm using YouTube, but you could use Spotify or Apple Music or anything, any streaming service you want. I go to YouTube, and the reason I go to YouTube is because I'm teaching Logic Drummer how to play a specific drum style. I really don't want a complete MP3 track or anything like that. I just want drums. So I go to YouTube and I search for drum teachers. Basically what I'll do is go to YouTube and search for blues drum lessons or reggae drum lessons, ska drum lessons, classical, whatever style you want to play. Just search YouTube because that's what you want. You want a drum teacher. And in this case, I'm not going to say who this is, although you're going to see from the screen, and I can't really play too much of it because I don't want to get a copyright hit. But that's what you want. You want a drum teacher who's trying to teach you a specific drum pattern. So pull that up in YouTube. I've already got it at the... What I do is I'll play the whole YouTube video and then find the places where the guy's not talking. Like at 119, he stopped, or it's about 118 actually. He stops talking and he's just playing. That's what I want. You can actually play the whole YouTube video into Logic and then just cut out the parts in Logic where he's talking. But I don't want to have to do that. So I've already watched the video. I found the place where he's not talking anymore. So go back into Logic. Leave that screen open. Go back into Logic. Arm this track for recording if it's not already armed. And this is just going to be a reference track. Oh, one more thing. We have to make this a groove track. So we're going to go to Track Header Components and Groove Track. For now, this is going to be a groove track. Okay. This is armed, this audio track, it's just a reference track. We're actually going to end up deleting it in a little bit. Okay? It's armed for recording. And then stop recording. And play it back. And then you want to cut it where the audio ends. So you just hit edit. This is about where the audio ends. You're going to cut it. Cut that out. Okay. So now we've got an audio sample that we're actually going to end up deleting pretty quickly here. But we're going to use this to teach drummer what we want it to play, or sort of what we want it to play. And what I want to do before I go on to the next section here is we want to edit this audio so that see where my mouse pointer is. That's where the downbeat should be. Bum, 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 bum. So we're going to cut out. I'm going to edit that. Cut out the empty space before that. Yeah, delete that. Move this section over to where it starts on 1 or pretty close to it. Play it. Okay, so now we've got something that we can use in the next step, which is to teach Logic Drummer to play something kind of similar to this. Okay? Save this before we go on. So now we've got our MP3 file or our audio from the streaming service recorded in here. It's just one audio track. And again, remember, I like to use drum lessons from YouTube because that way you just get the drum pattern. You don't get any other kind of background music or talking or anything like that. So this is what we're going to work with here. Simple 12/8 blues. All right. We've got our transport bar set up the way we want it with the proper tempo, the proper time signature, the correct project length. We've got our arrangement markers set up the way we want them with a 4-bar intro and an 8-bar chorus just to use for an example. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to add a drummer track, but we're going to add an empty drummer track. So I'm going to do that. Click on drummer. Don't open the library because it's just wasted real estate. You don't need that. Genre doesn't matter. Just click on create. Logic automatically fills in, it automatically does a few things. It automatically adds a drum kit and it automatically fills in the regions that you've created. This may be what you want, but it's not what I want. So I'm going to delete those regions. Okay. Before we go on, we're going to set this to follow the groove track. See, I've already enabled groove track on the audio, and it's the master. So on the drum track, for now, I want it to follow. I want it to match the groove track. So just click on that. Check it off. Okay. We can close the editor for right now. We don't need it. We're going to go in and by default, Logic uses Drum Kit Designer for Logic Drummer. What we're going to do is we're going to change that. Okay, so click on those arrow keys there. If you want to still use Drum Kit Designer, that's fine. You just change it to multi-out. You can leave it stereo if you want to, but if you choose multi-output, you have a lot more flexibility as far as mixing the drums. You can mix each drum kit piece the way you want it. But in addition to Drum Kit Designer, you can use any drum plugin you want. So you can use Superior Drummer like I have, as long as you choose multi-output. You can use Ultrabeat, multi-output. You can use Drum Synth, stereo, or mono. It doesn't make any difference. You can use you can even use Drum Machine Designer down here. That's pretty cool too. For right now, I'm going to leave it at Drum Kit Designer and multi-out. All right. I'm going to play my audio one more time before I do anything with the drummer kit. Make sure that's what I really want to use, and I do. Okay. So now we're going to set up the drum kit that we want before we add regions. So you're going to open up Drum Kit Designer, and by default, what you're going to see is not a producer kit. I want a producer kit. So I'm going to click on the drop-down arrow key. go down to producer kits, select, you can either select one of Logic's stock producer kits, or in my case, I've done this so many times, I've created a lot of producer kits. So we're going to go down to producer kits, choose one of Logic's stock producer kits, which is vintage kit brushes. That's pretty cool. Audition each kit piece. Alright. Under view here, or next to view, we're going to change that to controls. Bring that screen out. And mute pieces that you don't want. In this case, I want it to play everything except cowbell. Don't care about that. Claps. Don't care about that. And shaker. Let's mute that. I'll explain that in a minute, why we do that. Okay? And we'll leave everything else unmuted. So that's good. Okay. Change the view back to editor. You can adjust it, you can tune, you can dampen all you want to. Like, say, for example, I want to dampen that a little bit. A lot. All right, let's dampen it. Yeah, that's really good. That sounds good. You can dampen each tom individually. Or all of them, but we'll leave them alone. Okay. All right. If you made any changes, you're going to save it. Call it something else. Whatever. Okay. So now we've got the kit that we want. We're going to add an arrangement, a drummer region. We're going to add a drummer region. So just click on the plus, and it's automatically going to fill in a region corresponds to the arrangement marker. We've got a 4-bar intro in this arrangement here. This right here. Yeah, okay. There we go. And Logic Drummer is going to add an intro. It's not exactly what I want yet, but it will be in a minute. All right, let's solo that just for the hell of it. Close, but not exactly what I want. Okay. Now I can open the editor. You hit E to open the editor. And let it play. I'm going to solo that. Say I don't like that beat preset. You're going to create a new beat preset. So let's, for example, cycle that. All right. And once you find a beat preset that you like, something real simple like that, you're going to save it. You're going to save your beat preset. You click on that arrow key, you click on save preset, and call it whatever you want. In this case, I have already Done one. Here it is, 12/8 blues. Okay. Beat preset that I've already saved. Okay. You're going to click on this drop down arrow key again next to beat preset. They call it a disclosure triangle. You're going to click on keep settings when changing drummers. And do it again. Keep drum kit when changing drummers. Let it play again. You can adjust your fills, your swing, whatever you want. You can turn the fills up. Add a little bit more kick. And that sounds pretty cool. I actually like that a lot, the way it is right there. So before I go on, save it again. And now I've got a drummer track, at least playing the intro, pretty much the way I want it to play. So now we've got the beat preset that we want. We can delete this audio file. Don't need it anymore. If you want to save it, you can save it, but you don't need it. Yeah, let's unsolo that. Okay. Close the editor, which I keep opening. Okay. Delete the audio. Delete the audio track. Play your drummer track. Make sure it's what you want. And it sounds just absolutely dandy to me. That's exactly what I want. So I've got, and if you open the editor, it's using the beat preset that you want, that you saved, you created, and you've got it set up to where if you pick another drummer or pick another whatever, another drum kit, it's gonna, if you pick another drummer, it's gonna save, it's gonna use the same settings and the same drum kit. So, which, you know, the only reason I would pick another drummer would be by accident, because I don't use the Logic drummers. I don't use the drummers by name. I never do. But if I did accidentally, then I would want it to use the same beat preset, the same drum kit, the same everything. Okay, close the editor. We don't need to make any more changes. So what we're going to do is we're going to add another region. So we're going to add a drummer region. Open the editor and pick your beat preset. You can actually make this easier by highlighting the whole track. Yeah. There we go. And then pick 12/8 blues. Okay? That way it's using the same beat preset, the same everything on all the regions. Now, okay, no, I don't need to change that. Close the editor. Play it. Should sound just fine. And it does. I might want to add a few more fills. So we're going to do that. Okay, we're going to go out to 13. All right. Oh, I see what happened. Okay, I don't want, yeah, I got to drag this verse out. Okay. All right. So we wanted to play the whole thing. I want to be sure that I've got the fills in the way I want them. So again, we're not changing the beat preset. We're not really changing anything. We're just going to add a few more fills. Highlight the whole track, hit your drum editor, hit E to edit your drum editor. It's showing that we're still playing the 12/8 blues beat preset. I just want to maybe dial in a few more fills. So I'll smudge that up a little bit. And you'll see like right here, it's adding a few more, probably cymbals. We'll see what they are in a minute. Toms, okay. And that's fine. Let the whole project play. It should be exactly what you want. What we're going to end up doing is saving this as a template. Let it play to the end. And it's adding a few more, probably toms here. Something like that, yeah. And that actually sounds pretty darn good. So now I've got something I can work with for a 12/8 blues song. All right, so I'm going to turn the cycle off, close the editor. All right, and just I can save that. So if I want it, at this point, I've got everything exactly the way I want it. This drum track is perfect. It's fine for my purposes. I can add more arrangement markers at this point to bring it all the way out to like my project end could be like 80 or 120, something like that. So I can add more arrangement markers. But you understand what I'm talking about. If I was going to make this a template for a complete song, I would add arrangement markers to bring the project out to about maybe 80 bars and then save it as a template. So just click on File, Save as Template, call it 12/8 Blues. All right, and then the next time you're working on a new 12/8 blues project, you've already got your drummer track right here. It's everything you need. To at least get started, okay? So that's how I do it.